Okay, so hello everyone, welcome back to the second session of this project. Yesterday we got 15 views, which were like mine only. I checked my video 15 times on the YouTube, so I got 15 views. So now that matters. Okay, so let's continue with the second session. Yesterday we discussed the basically the main project idea, whatever we are sorry I'm fumbling whatever we are going to do. We discussed that yesterday, like what is the project all about, how the front end to the user will be displayed, how it will be processed in the backend basically, and how the result will be fetched again. But it was a high level design. Today we are going to discuss a little bit lower level design of this project, like what are the actual files, components, and functions which we will be building in this project. Also, I also wanted to tell you guys that for the making of this project, I will be not like doing it randomly, like picking anything, making anything. I am actually trying to use a subject, you can say, or a skill that is called software development. There are almost 7 phases in a software development lifecycle. I'm trying to follow that, but I'm going to skip the stages which are like the testing phases, the you can say the maintenance phases, all of that, because I just want to finish this project for once only, and then I will move on to something else. And this project is basically for my own understanding and for documenting like how what is my thought process before building it, during the build, and like after building the project. So without wasting any time, let's get into the video. So today I am here with my some pre-prepared notes which I have like noted down in the Obsidian. Wait, it is loading. So here basically I have like made a little. This is something from the yesterday's video. So this was something which we discussed yesterday. Today we are here with the low-level design of this project. So this is like not too much complex or too much fancy. I have tried to keep it as simple as possible. So this is the structure that we discussed, that it will be written on the CLI, that is the command line input. User came, he wrote on the CLI, it is getting tokenized, it is getting parsed. We discussed yesterday what is the tokenizing phase, what is the parser, what is okay, and here comes the low level designs. So it will be a little difficult for me to explain what the select statement is, what executor is, what database means is from this diagram. Let us like understand each of these with the flow of this structure in the project. So the user came onto the, like you can have a look over here if you want to. I'm scrolling it very slowly. You can pause the video and check whatever components if you want to. But let us start from the very basic. The user has opened the command prompt and has ran a project, which is MiniSQL. He might have wrote G++ MiniSQL.c or used CMake to run the project. I will be personally using CMake because it is easier to link the files. If anyone of you don't know about CMake, you can just simply Google it or chat GPT, and you will get to know why using CMake is better for some projects which contains multiple files instead of a single file. So I will be using CMake for building this project. So the user has started our file. He wrote this statement on the command line input. Okay. So once this query is written on the command line input, we will have to process it. Now the our command line input or our program does not know what all these things mean actually. What is select star from? Like he knows this as well as Japanese, you can say. I hope you don't know about Japanese. So it is similarly like Japanese is to you. Uh, this is also like Japanese to the command line input. So to make the program understand what this query is actually means, we will have to parse the statement. So what parsing is, parsing goes through multiple phases. let us discuss all of that one by one. So here is the like query, whatever which we have written, we will simply store it into a variable named query. After storing it in query, we will tokenize it. Yesterday I told you what tokenizing is. Tokenizing basically breaking the sentence word by word. So after tokenizing, the vector will look something like this. There will be a vector of string, which will contain the query word by word, select star from students and all of that. After that, it will go to parser. Till now, it has been tokenized only. Now it will go to parser. What parser will do is basically, if you don't want to like read the technical language, I can simply tell you parser will basically help the command line input, or you can say your program, to understand the actual meaning of these statements, like what is select, what does star represent, what is from, what is students. So the parser sees select. Now if a select query is like there is a keyword select, that simply means you are trying to retrieve something from the database. So you saw select. Now you will have to like we will write logics how this is going to work. Right now I'm just describing you the low level design. So you saw select, you will categorize it as a read statement. Like this is going to read something. What it is going to read, it will read whatever the next word follows after the select. So here in this case it is star, so the user wants to read all the columns. Like now we will get from, it will help us categorizing which table are we trying to access the data from. So once a from comes, we will check the next word. It is students. You can see here in this query, the next word is students. So table name will be students. So we just simply like stored the table name in a separate variable. You can say we are not going to separate like create variables for this. We will be creating proper classes and structures and objects for like carrying this information within the project. This is just for the layman representation how things are going to work. Next is where, if we encounter where, which this simply means, okay, here a condition exists. And now we will have to check what is the column in which condition is being applied. What are the operators like age is greater than, less than, equal to. There are multiple operators in SQL. So here we checked if the condition operator is greater than what, we will check the value as well. We will simply, now I hope so you are getting the basic idea behind a parser. The parsing process basically helps us into the creation of a AST. So this AST helps the CLI basically understand what this query is all about. So once everything is parsed, the select statement will look something like this. As I told you, we have categorized this into a select statement because the select keyword appear here, and it basically means you want to retrieve the data from the database. So this is a reading statement. You want to read these columns from this table, and this is the condition which we are trying to access. Okay, also one more important thing. We are not going to make this project in a single go, Um, we will be creating this project basically feature by feature. Right now, we can say we are creating the version 1 of this project. The version 1 includes very basic functionality like this. This version will help us to, use commands only, select from where. This is the only thing which I guess I will be adding into the version 1 of this project. And in the next versions, I will be adding the next version is not something like will be coming after months or years. It is simply like cycles. In the first cycle, I will be implementing select from and where from the basic till the working stage. And then we will be adding more and more features into it. This is basically we are creating, you can see we are adding the reading feature or retrieval feature into our database. After the retrieval is done, we will maybe we can add the right feature into our database, which is like creating the tables, inserting values into the table. So we will be adding this as a version 2, we can say, in the next cycle of this project. And after the next cycle, we will be adding the update statements into the our project. So okay, moving on. I'm like right now explaining you the flow of version 1. The next versions won't change the flow that much. So, we have like categorized the select statement. This is the statement which we have built till now. So we have like came through, the the tokenizing has been done, parsing has been done, and this is your AST. AST basically stores the hierarchy of your structure. So once we have the select statement, we will be passing it to the executor. Executor, as I told you, this is the commander of this project, which will be till now no logic has been applied. Like no one knows what we have to do till now. No action is being performed yet. We just have simply transformed a meaningless structure into a meaningful structure, you can say. We have just organized the structure with the following attributes. So now we will be handling it to the executor, which is the commander of this project. So the commander will see, okay, I have to access these columns from these table, and this is the condition which I will have to follow. So now executor will see, and first of all, it will contact to the database manager. Database manager has no role, like no fancy task in this project. It simply holds the metadata about all the tables which is present in our database. Metadata is basically the data about the data. Here, the metadata simply means the name of column, the type of data which is present in each column, the table name, and the location of the file. Basically, this is the role of database manager. Database manager will help us in determining these things from the database. So the executor told the database manager, okay, database manager, I want to retrieve information about this table. So database manager was provided with, okay, database manager, get this table from the database, students. The database manager checked the database and returned, okay, here exists a table named students. It has the following columns, and this is the exact location where the table is located. So this information is again passed to the executor. The executor has now the following information. Okay, table exists. These are the columns and this is the location. Now executor asks the storage engine that go into this table and fetch me all the rows and columns from this file. Once we collect all the rows, we will apply the where condition on the data which we have just obtained. This is the complete data in the table. And finally, the executor received all the rows from the table. Now executor will simply apply the where condition on this data. Once the where condition is applied, we will simply here the age was 10. We will simply check the third. You can say the element present at the second index of the array. If it is greater than 10, these rows will be selected and this will be discarded. Sorry, this one will be discarded and this three will be selected. Once these three has been selected, we will simply return it to the command line input, something like this, just like the MiniSQL does work. So this was the basically the low level design of this project, which I have prepared so far. So in this video, I'm not only going to keep it theoretical only. I'm trying to create the very first phase of this project as well, which is designing the CLI. We will make our project executable at least in this video, so that we can get a sense of something that we have created actually something and not just talked like we did in the previous video. So the second part of this session begins now, which is creating the very first phase of this project, which is creating the CLI. So let me just go to my editor, which is okay. So the project CPP. Okay, so we are in the directory now, and I just wanted to show you that I have already, as I told you, I have like researched a little bit about the project. All these folders are currently, these contains the like CPP files, but those are completely empty. I will show you in a bit. But the main goal of showing you this directory was that while preparing the low-level design of this project, I actually thought about the files, the header files, the main files, the CMake which I will be using. So I already like did the setup of all the files and folders required for this project. So right now we would be, let me show you the directories first. So the build is basically the folder where all the CMake files are present. If you don't know about CMake, just go and check it on ChatGPT. Like write a simple program, create some multiple files, and run it through ChatGPT, and you will know the purpose of the build folder. And if you want me to tell the purpose of build folder, it is basically helping us to link all the multiple files which are presented in the data. Then these are the multiple folders of our project. So the build is basically holding all these three folders into a single folder, and we don't have to link all these 50 or 60 files one by one into this command line. We just have to simply write CMake build, and it will automatically execute our project. On the editor, I would like to go full screen and we switch to files, which is you can see there is a file CLI. I would like to first write the CLI.h file. Okay, so we are in the header file now. I will be writing the header file of this project. So I will start writing this pragma once. We need to create a class here. Let us just simply name this class as class CLI. Everything here will be public, and it will simply contain a function, void function right now, which will be simply run. So yes, that is all for this file, I guess. We have created a class named CLI which has some public function which is called run. That's all the header file will contain. We will simply save this file, and now we will open the another file, CLI.cpp. This file will basically contain the implementation of the actual header file. So we will be writing include let me check the path. Okay, so we will be writing as we will be running this from the root directory. So the path of the header file will be something like this: CLI CLI.h. We have included the header file into our project. Also, we will be needing a few libraries, which is IOStream, input output stream. We will be also needing string to manipulate the hey, I don't spell it. Okay, including okay. So I will be writing the program basically IOStream for printing and scanning, and string is for basically manipulating the string. So we will be also using space standard. Okay, now we can simply start writing our program. So the implementation of the run function, we are writing this just to represent that this run function basically belongs to the CLI class of the. Also, this is a void function. Okay. Now, let us simply print MiniSQL first. This is something I would like to display. Yes, as a project starts, this is something I would like to display here. Now I will be taking a string which where I will be storing the query basically. So we should name it query. Now I will be, writing a while loop, which is an infinite while loop. I want the program to run again and again until the user exits on its own. So the query, we will have to simply get line cin input query. Whatever is being written on the stdin, it will be simply stored into the query. Now we will have to check if query equal to exit, or what are the other things which the user can write query equal to exit. Um, this is basically used for breaking the loop. Okay, if it is not equal to exit, then we will simply see out, and we have to make it something like info uh, info query structure was received. Um, Here we forgot to add this semicolons. Oh, sorry, apostrophe. So we will simply do this here, query was received, and then we will basically provide some extra lines below it, and we should also display if we have got the correct query or not. And see what we can simply write here, query backslashing here, and I would like to add this. Okay, so, and once the user exits, I would like to display a goodbye message as well. So we'll simply write um shutting down SQL session cout um good goodbye. So this is something which will simply demonstrate the proper, running and functioning of our project. So this is, I hope so this should be enough. We will get mini SQL every time we get one. We should move this line beyond this. Okay, to stream this here. This is like one of my first times using this Neovim, so I'm a little slow on this right now, but we will get I will get it fixed soon. This is a skill issue for plan. So we will be getting mini SQL at every. Okay, we will be putting this, and this. Okay, so we are. I hope so. We are done with this file as well. We will make changes into this one. And now we will be simply moving on to our main.cpp. The main file will be containing include CLI slash CLI.cpp, I guess. CLI.cpp. Okay. Okay, so we are in the main file now. Here we will be simply including the header file on CLI/CLI.h. Once we have the header file over here, we can simply write a main function, which will be the entry code to the program. We will have to, use the CLI class and prepare an object. Okay, we will simply do obj.run function. I would like to say that is all. We can create it end main and just simply return 0. And I hope so. The CLI should work now. Let us just check if there are any errors. So we will simply put down here to clear it. So we will now just go to the build folder. We will do CMake build the CLI has no member being run. Okay, let's check what is the issue. The issue, let me see CLI.h. Okay, is this an issue? Let us just compile it again. CD build, CD CMake. Oh, okay. We have an error with the public keyword over here. So we will again go back. We will do this. CLI.h. This is something you should take care of. And now we will simply cd into our build folder. Now we will make this. And okay, so now this CLI should work. I will have to check the txt file now. So let's collect txt and executable. Okay, so is this going to be MiniSQL? Okay, so I don't know like how much I talked about before, but I have figured out the issue. The issue was basically I was writing the name wrong. I was writing app.exe, but as we can see here, we have mentioned which program, which I will show you what was the issue. So I was executing app.exe, but here I have written MiniSQL. So I will have to execute the file MiniSQL.exe. That was the only issue that I was creating before. So now we can simply run our project by writing cd build, and now we can do MiniSQL.exe. Anyway, so this is our compiler now. If I write here something like select star from students, this is something which we are getting executed successfully. Right now we are not checking any any meaning or any grammar of this the query which we are writing, so it will take anything as input. And it is telling us okay, the query has been received. So, okay, this is working fine. Now let us just simply check the exit command. We have successfully exited our compiler. So we have successfully created like when we say a CLI based front end of our project. In this episode, so till now we have accomplished, we have learned what is this project all about, the high level design, the low level design, and we have also prepared the directory structure, directory and file management of this project basically. And the next thing which I have done right now is prepared the CLI, basically the CLI front end of this project. So that is all for this session. In the next session, maybe we will be coming with tokenizing this query would be the next step I would like to say. We will move as we will move according to the low level workflow of the project. That is all I have thought of right now, but I will, go off the screen, think more about how to carry this project further and come back again. So okay, this is all for now. We will see you again next time. Bye bye.